Hey everybody, it's Marshall Mike here. This is my Legends of Tomorrow episode 14 review, 15, somewhere along in there. We're going to talk all about this episode. Pretty great episode. I really liked it. There are a few things I need to improve just a tad, but we're going to talk about all of that. So let's get started. So this episode was really great. The visuals, amazing. The acting, always on par. It's really good for their show. I really like it. This episode had to deal with a few Easter eggs, but not of DC, which we're going to talk about in a second. But in the comics, Vandal Savage has 2 children, I believe. I can't remember if he has 2. I think he does. I'm not really that big into Vandal Savage in the comics, you know. But in the comics, I think he does have 2 children. I guess they end up taking one of the, I don't know if Cassandra, which is Vandal Savage's daughter in this show, I don't know if she's direct placement from the comics into the show. I don't know if they just ripped her out of the comics and threw her in. I'm not really sure, but she is in, this show. She is Vandal Savage's daughter, so let's talk about it. So, Vandal Savage's daughter is helping him. She's kind of like the right-hand man to Vandal Savage. She has the Hawk Girl bracelet, obviously the bracelet that Kendra needs to kill Vandal Savage, so, obviously that's there. But it was really nice to see, guys, I'm so sorry about that. You guys can hear that? Sorry about that. But anyway, Kendra needs that bracelet, right? So, it was really cool to see that they were going after her. I really like the chemistry between Cassandra and Captain Cold. They were really nice to be put together. Like, Captain Cold's just like, hey, my father, just like your father. I'm just saying. So I really like that, how they put them together. Really meshed well, too. I really liked it. I thought it was really nice to see that. The only thing I thought that was really weird is that they kind of rushed over a little bit. Like, with her, she has been Vandal Savage's child for a long time now. I guess she's like maybe, 20-something, maybe no, not 30, but like 20 around in there somewhere. So it's like, for her to be raised by Vandal Savage her whole life, be told these stories about Predegaton, and be her family life with, that. And then, Captain Cold just has to show her video footage, and she just like, whoop, just sways over that way. Didn't think that was like, didn't think that made sense to me. Like, it's like, look at Captain Cold. He was raised by his father for years, and then was a criminal in the Flash for a little while, and then was on this show. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, Captain Cold just turned immediately good on this show. But it's like, you gotta remember, he has been raised by his father for years. Then he kind of comes down a little bit when he meets Barry, and then finds out who Barry is, as the Flash. Then when he gets to the show, he turns full-on hero. Not full-on hero, I mean, he still has a little bit of bad left in him, but it will always be a part of him because he was raised that way, so you can always, debate whether or not he's still a villain or a hero, but, he's kind of like an anti-hero at this point, but I still think he leans more towards the hero side. But it was nice to see her in this episode. I guess we'll see more of her next week. It's possible. I have no idea. So let's talk about Ray this episode. Ray was great. I loved Ray this episode. I thought he was awesome. It was really weird. I didn't like Jax's episode, but like behind Ray a little bit. But it was really nice to see that Ray was in this episode fighting the Leviathan robot. It was like this huge robot that Vandal Savage had created, or, had someone else create it for him. I don't know. But it was this thing that he had the atom symbol, so I thought maybe it's the technology that we saw earlier in another episode where they went to the future and Ray's technology was being used military-wise. So it could be, who knows? But Ray grows huge. He just, to fight this robot, he makes this, transforming thing that helps him grow huge to take on this robot. Now, in the comics, the Atoms, Ray is not the only Atom, by the way. There's multiple versions of the Atom. In the comics, they never were able to grow big. They were never to do that. So I think that what that means is that it's a call and an Easter egg to Ant-Man. In the comics, even though he's Marvel, it's still kind of like an Easter egg-ish kind of way. But in the comics of Ant-Man, obviously we know he can turn into Giant Man. Really huge. We know that. So I guess they were trying to pull from that, but it's not that big of a deal in my opinion because, we're basically the same character, just different ways they've gotten their abilities, so it's fine if they just make him grow, not that big of a deal. But the visuals for it were amazing. I mean, those were great. For a television series, really well done. I really love it. The visuals on the show are really good. Hopefully they'll be able to keep it up in Season 2. I don't know if they want to do more than 16 episodes or if they want to keep doing that, but if they can get that money and make those visuals happen every season, then I suggest making it 16 episodes every season. But it was really nice to see Ray take on the Leviathan robot. I liked it. It was like, it was really cool. The only thing I didn't like about it is Jax being like, yeah, robot fight, or boom, come on Ray, get this going. Like, that was kind of annoying to me, but it was still fun to see him go wildly crazy for this robot fight, so who knows? It was okay. Then Kendra had a really interesting part of this episode. She melted down the bracelet. Obviously, they got the bracelet back from Cassandra. I think that's her name, right? Vandal Savage's daughter. I have no idea. But they got the bracelet back. She melted it down to create this mace. Now, here's an Easter egg for you guys. That mace is not actually, you know, in the comics, it's actually Hawkgirl's mace. Both of them, I think, have maces. They come from nth metal, which is part of the Hawkman Hawkgirl mythology. And in this episode, they kind of just like barrel over it just a little tad bit. Like again, when I said in the beginning of the video, they have tad improvements they need to work on. But especially with this mythology with Hawkgirl, I feel like Hawkgirl is the bottom of the barrel of the show right now. Well, at least beforehand. The fight scene that she had this episode was incredible, so I feel like that helped her raise up a little bit. But yeah, she's been the bottom of the barrel. With Hawkman as well. You know, they've been the bottom of the barrel a little bit. We actually had a flashback seeing Carter in this episode, and her, you know, first using the mace ever, so that was really interesting too. But she melts down the bracelet. Now, in the comics, obviously, it comes from nth metal and the mythology of the Hawkman and Hawkgirl, you know, lore. And they, again, kind of brushed over it because it's the show's logic, but they also just rushed it a little bit. So, again, a tad improvement there that they can use to improve that. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good how they explained it. And I liked the fight scene that they had. Vandal Savage and Hawkgirl, liked that fight scene. It was really well done, so I liked it. It was really nice to see them fight. I liked it. And I like Kendra, like, using the train that she's been using with Sarah. Like, they've been training, so I like how they kind of swayed that towards the fight. So I like that. It was good. It was a good fight. It was enjoyable. But I think that's pretty much it. You know, Rip Hunter was in this episode a little bit. Sarah was in here. Heatwave, you know, all of the cast was in there. Martin Stein had a really cool, you know, story of this episode when he wanted to save those people, the rebels, I guess you could say, in the time ship. It was really nice to see that as well. That was a really cool storyline. It wasn't too big, but, you know, it was nice to throw in there. Overall, it was a good episode. I really liked it, and I think that it was nice. The visuals, though, that's what got me. This episode, the visuals were incredible, people. I mean, you can't say that they weren't incredible, because they were. But what did you guys think of the episode? Comment down below. I don't think I missed anything too huge. They talked about Projectaton a little bit in this episode, a few other things. But if I did miss something, comment down below and I'll do a monkey updates on it. But links up there to my other Legends of Tomorrow videos, links down there to my Twitter, Instagram, Vine, vlog channel, and cinema channel. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.